There a cure?
Well, while there's no cure, there is.
The views and opinions of the guests that host you here on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
I need to tell you this right now. Make sure God's first. Love God, serve God, and walk with God. Be in His light and let Him. Okay. God is my father. Yes, He's the king. I am the princess, so I'm royalty. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. God is my father. Yes, He's the king. I'm the princess, so I'm royalty. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. Okay, P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. Alright. God is my father, I'm royalty. It's life with the princess. Okay, alright.
Hey everybody, it's me, your girl Tamar Braxton, and I'm with the princess from the Life with the Princess show, the voice of her generation. Yeah, baby.
We are the Heather Hills Philanthropists, and we listen to Life with the Princess radio show, the voice of our generation.
Hey everyone, it's me, Miracle, #the Princess, and welcome to my radio show called Life with the Princess Radio, the voice of my generation. My show's about kids, and it's also for kids, and it's about giving God the glory. You can check me out on YouTube at Life with the Princess channel, on Instagram, and on Musically at Life with the Princess. I want to start off with something I call Miracles Moment. Today's Miracles Moment was inspired by my great-grandfather, who I call Pop Pop. He used to say, be careful how you live. You may be the only Bible some people ever read. Remember that, okay? So, I'm going to chat with y'all a little bit. I need to tell you something, okay? I just figured out that I just found some slime that I thought was melted, but it's actually not melted. Like, isn't that crazy? I've been playing with it, but it's also kind of sticky. So I need some activator. That's all I need, just some activator. But I wish I could have that. Oh, by the way, I just realized that I had this little kit of slime, and I have been using it like ever since last year, and I did it with my mom. Now I figured out that I actually still had some more in there, and I can make some more. I tried to make it, but I think maybe the glue kind of maybe didn't work anymore, because now it's super duper dry. When I tried to stir it and make the slime, when I did it at first, it got super clumpy and it wouldn't stretch. But I asked for help. I did it by myself though, but I asked for help on trying to learn all these sciencey stuff. It's like what does this mean? And then they said, oh, it's this number on the measuring cup. And I was like, oh, I never knew that. And fill it up to get to 60. So confusing. The 2.02 just messed me up. So then I made another one. I took the rest of the glue, I just squirted it out, and I, mixed it, and I tried to take it out as fast as I can because I didn't want it to stay in there forever so it won't be clumpy. And it got super sticky and it started to melt in my hands, so I just put it back in there, and the activator, I just swerved it around, took it out, melted again, swerved it around, and then it got good, but it's still a tiny bit sticky, swerved around again, and it got clumpy, but not super clumpy. So now I have it in a plastic bag, and I put lotion on it, and I just realized that the bag has a hole in it. So, yeah, it's not going really good, but I'm going to try the other packet that I also had last year. Hopefully this year for Christmas, Santa will give me another slime kit. So that's what I'm hoping for. By the way, I was really thinking I should probably take off the fake nails and also the iPhone, because I realized how to make my own fake nails, and yes, it might look a little bit too weird, but my father probably isn't going to believe me, but I actually made my own fake nails. I'm going to tell you how. So you can get Play-Doh, any type of color you want. Take a ball of it and shape it as how long you want this fake nail to be. Then once you're done, lightly take it off and keep it in the mold and let it sit for 24 hours. And once you have, it's going to dry up and you can find whatever glue you want to stick it on and it's fake nails. Oh, my father's over here shaking his head like really, you really gonna do that? So yeah, I actually figured out a way. I can't believe I have because I was just playing with my Play-Doh and I was just, making fake nails with it. And it actually turned out to work. And then I was like, oh, I should probably let it stay for 24 hours so it can get, like normal, like actual fake nails, so it can be hardened. But then once I tried it with blue and I tried to put nail polish on it for it to stick, it broke in class. But it's fine because I'm going to use another glue. I'm going to figure it out. So yeah, if you want to learn how to make fake nails and if your parents are going to allow you to do that, because if they don't let you get your own fake nails, then you can go ahead and just make your own like that. So yeah. Also, I want to tell you guys something. My friend Simone, for some reason, was absent today. I have literally no idea why, but she was absent today. She was probably like sick or something, like usual, or she probably slept in or something. But she was absent today, so I had to hang out with my other friend, Janaya. That was why we got to have some personal time with each other. So my guest today is Michelle Blackwell. She's a go-go artist, author and singer, and a songwriter. Welcome to my show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Princess.
You're welcome. So the kind of music you perform is called go-go. Can you explain what that is and how long it's been around?
All right, so go-go music has been around for several decades now, and it started with a man named Chuck Brown. And Chuck Brown is someone who is an icon, not just in D.C., but is known all over the world. And what happened was he was a jazz musician, jazz singer, and was performing in and around the D.C. area during the 70s. And he was having a problem when he was performing, feeling like he was competing with the DJs, whereas he felt like the crowd was doing a lot more partying when the DJ was playing. So he came up with an idea to keep the music going because he felt like it was because the DJs never stopped. When they played the song, it segued into another song. So he tried to incorporate that into his set. Instead of stopping after every song, he wanted to incorporate that that ongoing thing. And so and that the ongoing music that never stops, and also the percussion heavy theme where he incorporated the Latin percussions using the congas and the timbales, fused together with original music and some covers, and you have go-go.
Okay, so how did you become a singer of go-go music?
All right, so I've been in performing arts my entire life. I started with local performing arts groups like the Young Voices of DC, and I was also trained at the Howard University Children's Theater, which is still to this day. It's a summer program that the performing arts majors at Howard University.
Wow.
That they teach. They teach every summer. The majors teach the children that attend these summer programs. And so I've been in performing arts my whole life. I actually went to Duke Ellington, but I was a dance major. And so I've obviously been a fan of go-go my whole life, being born and raised here in D.C. And but was never inclined or offered to sing in a band until 2000, when Subtle Thoughts had a vacancy for a female vocalist, and I auditioned, and I've been performing with the go-go bands ever since.
Who are your musical inspirations?
Wow, well, if you mean within the go-go sphere, that would obviously be Chuck Brown, Sugar Bear, Trouble Funk, and of course the women in go-go. They inspired me too. Maisha and the Hip Huggers. Outside of go-go, Shaka Khan is a huge influence. Erykah Badu, Mary J. Blige. I have so many.
So, who is your favorite band?
Who's my favorite band inside of Go-Go? Wow. Well, growing up, my favorite band was always Rare Essence, and obviously, What Band is the band that I've had longest ties to. So I have to be those two. And outside, absolutely without a doubt, and with nobody close, it would have to be Frankie Beverly and Maze. Well, no, I'm not gonna say that. Earth, Wind and Fire. So, but Frankie Beverly and Maze is my favorite all around band.
So, what's the best part about being a celebrity?
Well, I'm flattered you asked me that question, but I don't really consider myself a celebrity unless people sometimes use the phrase "go" the local celebrity, and I guess you could say that. Well, maybe sometimes you might get actually, I'm going to say this. When I'm out and about, when people come up to me and they talk to me, sometimes you never know, like when it comes to your music, how you touch somebody until they tell you. So sometimes I get these stories about how people have lost loved ones. I have a song about losing somebody. And when people tell you how much their music impacts you, that can be very, very touching. Just to know how that you've impacted someone's life in a positive way. So I would say that.
What's the biggest thing you've ever done?
The biggest thing I've ever done? Well, in terms of performances, I really can't put my finger on just one. I've had many shows with national artists, and I've done some really, really great things that I'm proud of. I guess recently, I guess I could say recently the biggest thing. I did a show at Fort DuPont Park with Cameo, who's a kind of an iconic group as well. That was a highlight because it was as a solo artist. It wasn't just with the band. So that was a pretty big moment for me.
You're also an author, and your book is called Love and Go-Go. Is it the first book you've ever written on Go-Go?
Well, it's the first book I've ever written, period. And I know also that it's the first fiction novel for that touches on the go-go culture at all. There are a few books, I'm sure, and a couple that I know of that are documentary style that kind of tell the history of go-go. But this is a fiction novel, and this is the very first one for go-go, and this is the first book I've ever written.
So tell us about the book.
All right, so the book is about a girl named Tracy Mason, and Tracy Mason is just about to be turning 30. She's in her late 20s, and she has been in the band for a couple years, and is experiencing some difficulty within her band, and also there's an opportunity that presents itself to her that could kind of change her life. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and it kind of revolves around this woman, this named Tracy Mason, who's also a single mother. So it's really about DC culture, the dating scene, and of course go-go. It's not a true story; it's a fiction story. But there are a lot of truths incorporated in it, where I try to explain like what go-go is all about, but in a way that's really fun. And I've gotten some really great feedback from the book, so I'm really excited about it.
As a singer and author, what's the best advice you have received so far?
The best advice I've received as a singer, as a performer, I'm going to say this, as a performer, not just a singer, but as an artist, some of the best advice I've gotten has been sort of repeated over time in different ways. And it all sums up to, no matter what is going on, whether you're working in a group and you feel like the dynamic isn't there, or you feel like you're being picked on, or you're being left out, it all comes back to your craft. Like, you just have to really, really focus on presenting your best work, presenting your best performance. It all just goes back to, your craft again. Like, as long as you have a healthy amount of respect for, and you're putting a lot of work into your craft, then everything else will come together. As far as the book, I spoke with a couple of authors, and just based on their advice, it was really more so the things that I picked up the most was like as far as editing. Like people, I understand that when it comes to especially urban fiction, which is what I sort of categorize my book as. There are a lot of complaints about like editing, like as far as like the grammar, as far as like syntactical errors and all that kind of stuff, just to make sure that it was a literary. It was as far as literary concerns, it was a good book, not just the storyline, but it was actually like an as far as if an English professor was grading it, would it be up to snuff, or if someone was editing? Because I self-edited the book. Normally, when someone submits a book for publishing, it's edited by the editor, whereas I edited it myself. So that was really like the thing that I took in more than anything, was just to make sure that everything was as grammatically correct as possible.
What advice can you give my generation for those who want to be a singer or start a band?
My best advice would be to make sure that everyone is kind of on the same page as far as their goals. Be in it, have sort of an agreement and a pact to be in it for the long haul, and know that there are difficulties that are going to come. Kind of spell out what those difficulties are going to be in the beginning. Whereas, again, like everybody might not be on the same page, making sure that everybody's schedule is, is respected when it comes to rehearsals and shows, and really just stick-to-itiveness. Like, you really just have to stick to it and just keep at it, because some bands, it takes a long, long time for them to, get their buzz. And also, of course, a very healthy balance between original and cover tunes. Just make sure that you have that balance there.
So Christmas is right around the corner. Have you done all your Christmas shopping yet?
Well, actually, I've been celebrating Kwanzaa now for the past about 15 or so years. I do still have a healthy amount of respect for, and as far as like celebrating the birth of Christ, all that is still there. But the church I attend, I'm just so used to like them doing both. Like they celebrate both Christmas and Kwanzaa. But one of the best things about Kwanzaa is that we're not really supposed to do any shopping until after Christmas. So I never really have those anxieties. I haven't had them for many, many years. So yeah, that's that on that.
If you could sing a duet with any singer in the world, who would it be?
Oh my! If I could sing a duet with anybody in the world, oh my goodness! Who would it be? Wow. Oh, I might have to get back with you on that because that's like overwhelming.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get back with you on that.
Have you always wanted to be a singer even when you were a kid? What else did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I always wanted to be a performer. It wasn't singer at first. Again, I was even when I went to Duke Ellington, when I was in high school, I was in the dance department. But I did a lot of plays, stage productions, and that involved a lot of singing. And of course, I was in the youth choir at my church, and that kind of got me, singing was something that I could do, but like I preferred dance and I preferred acting. So I knew I wanted to be a performing artist, but singing was sort of something that I took on as a main thing when I was grown. But when I was young, I always thought it would be like acting or dancing, to be honest.
So what's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday would probably be Mother's Day, because it's celebrating someone who has been clutch since she pushed me out. That would be my mom. Love her so much, and just a day to celebrate someone who's done so much for me and has been so much of a light and influence in my life. So yeah, Mother's Day.
Do you have a favorite gospel song?
Oh, yes. Encourage Yourself by Donald Lawrence. Yes, and the reason why is because it just touches on how, it just reminds you that you're not the only one that's going through something. Everybody is, and sometimes you just have to, pull yourself up by the bootstraps and pray and count on God to see you through. But just to encourage yourself through all, just through the bad and the worst times, you can speak life back into your situation and speak positivity into your life. So that would be it. Encourage yourself.
So you want to try to answer the other question again? If you could sing a duet with any other singer in the world, who would it be?
Gosh, okay, the person who I would, I mean, if it could be anybody, it's someone who's no longer here. That's Luther Vandross. He's like my favorite all-around, all-time male vocalist, and also just his spirit, his soul, his vibe, his energy with his songs. It would just be, I would be floored. I probably wouldn't be able to finish the session because I'd be passing out, crying, and screaming. But yeah, Luther Vandross.
Okay. So how can we support and contact on your social media?
All right. So I have my own website where you could purchase my book, and you can download my CD. The name of my CD that I released back in May is called Body of Work, and you can purchase a digital download from my website. And you can also purchase my book if you want a printed copy sent to you from my website. And my website is michelleblackwellmusic.biz. If you're looking for the book, it would be michelleblackwellmusic.biz/book. And if it is for the CD, it would be michelleblackwellmusic.biz/store. Or you could just go to my website and, just use the drop-down menu, and it will give you all of those options for what you're looking for. I'm on Instagram, is MIZZ Blackwell, Ms. Blackwell. I am on Twitter, that's Shell B Well, CHELLE, B as in boy, well. And I am on Facebook, and that's also Michelle Blackwell Music.
Okay, so thank you for being a guest on my show today.
Thank you for having me, and congratulations on your show. I know I'm not the only one who is very, very proud of you. Someone from my area representing with such style and grace, and I really am rooting for you, and I know we're going to continue to see great, great things from you. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. So we have to take a break, but when we come back, we'll have Miracle's Message and the Princess Spills the Tea.
I need to tell you this right now. Make sure God's first. Love God, serve God, and walk with God. Be in His light and love Him. Okay. God is my Father. Yes, He's the King. I am the princess, so I'm royalty. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. God is my Father. Yes, He's the King. I am the princess, so I'm royalty. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. Okay. P-R to the I-N-C, E to the double S. Alright. God is my Father, I'm royalty. It's life with the princess. Okay, alright.
Welcome back to Life with a Princess radio show, the voice of my generation. I'm your host, Miracle, #the Princess. Now it's time for Miracle's Message. Today's message comes from Ephesians 6, verse 4. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger. Instead, bring them up in discipline and instruction of the Lord. Now it's time for the Princess Spills the Tea.
Girl, what do you want? I'm sleeping. I was gonna tell you some tea, but since you're sleeping,
I'm wide awake, girl. Spill the tea. Spill all the tea.
Cardi B is calling it quits with her husband, rapper Offset, after only 1 year of marriage. She says that they grew out of love. After the news broke, Cardi B posted a picture of their daughter, Culture, and she is adorable. Then on Friday, Cardi B went to court for assault charge with attacking 2 bartenders in October. She goes back to court again in January. As she was leaving court, Cardi B found out that she was nominated for 5 Grammy nominations. So her day turned out better than she expected. Speaking of Grammys, rapper Kendrick Lamar got 8 nominations while Drake got 7. Singer Her was nominated for R&B Album, Album of the Year, and Best New Artist. Rapper Post Malone was nominated for Album of the Year along with singer Janelle Monáe, who broke down in tears as she read the nominations on CBS This Morning on Friday. For a complete list of all the nominees, log on to Grammys.com. That does it for the Princess Spills the Tea. In weird news, police in California got the shock of their lives when a bear stood up on 2 legs and walked into the police station, and he dropped down on all fours, walked past the vending machine. I want a vending machine, and wandered out. Days later, the bear came back and was seen walking around the parking lot. Happy birthday to my older sister, Tiara, and she's turning 22 years old. After the show, I will be on Praise 106.1. I will be co-hosting it, Elevation Time. So, guys, and thanks to everyone who donated for Socks in the Box campaign. Thank you. And I collected 802 pairs of socks. Like that's a lot. And passed them out to the homeless in DC and Baltimore. First time getting Baltimore. I want to say a special thank you to Planet Fitness in DC, Landover, and Bowie, Maryland. Hair Razor Salon on Marble Pike in District Heights, Maryland. DTLR and KT's Kitchen located at 5410 Park Heights Avenue in Baltimore for allowing me to put my socks in the box in their business. Thanks again to my guest, singer Michelle Blackwell. That does it for my show today. Do you know a kid who is doing something good in the community or at school? Let me know for booking information or to be a guest on the show. Email me at lifewiththeprincess@gmail.com. Remember, lifewiththeprincess@gmail.com. Thank you for listening to my show called Life with the Princess Radio. You can check me out on YouTube at Life with the Princess channel, on Instagram, and on Musical.ly. Don't forget about that Musical.ly at Life with the Princess. My radio shows on every second and fourth Saturday of the month from 10:30 to 11 here on WOLB 1010 AM Baltimore. Talk to you again on December 22nd.
Grab that.